Hey folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on some Pink Warrior Support Squad earrings. Now, Pink Warrior Support Squad is the latest design kit from Softflex Wire. Well, it's not the latest. They have a new one out right now, but it has not been revealed yet. It's called the Nutcracker, so we're not going to work on it yet. But what we are going to work on is, we got these little charms and I painted them. They were silver. And then I'm going to use these teensy weensy little pink pearls. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a little hoop that will fit around the charm, and then we're going to wire wrap the little pink pearls all around the outside, and the charm will dangle in the inside. So let's turn down and we'll get working on those. So like I say, here is our little charms and here are our pearls. I have gotten some 18 gauge German style wire out. We're going to use that to make our loop. Now we don't need a big loop, it just needs to be big enough to go around our charm and give a little space. So I'm thinking probably 5 inches is quite sufficient. So let's cut a couple of pieces of 5-inch wire. It actually may even be bigger than we need. Now when I'm cutting wire, your flush cutters will make a V on one side of your wire, so I always cut that little notch off because it's quite sharp. So you always want to turn it so that you get the flat side again. So let's get another hunk of 5-inch hunk out here. And we should be done with our 18 gauge. So we can set that aside. Now the next thing we're going to need is our wire mandrel. I tend to just go around the base of this, like so. And as you can see, it really is bigger than we need it to be. Of course, once we turn the ends, it's not going to be that big. Still might be bigger than we want. If it is, that's fine. We have a really good pair of flush cutters to cut off some extra wire. So just make the second one here. Now we want to do, because this is a homemade loop, we want to do each side exactly the same. So we'll go from one side to the other side. The first thing we're going to do is turn these loops so they face over here. Go. And then we'll do the same with the other side, going the opposite direction. Now let's see what this sizing is more like when we pull these together, because we do need to pull them together. As you can see now, we're right there with the edge of this. And as you can see, I think it's too big still. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut off one whole loop. So we'll take our flush cutters, we'll go in and just cut the loop off. Now return this. Now if I was putting beads onto the wire, I would only be turning one side at a time. However, because I'm going to wire wrap the pearls onto the loop, we can do this all at the same time. Now see, it's smaller here, so let's get her up into here and bring her together here. Okay. Again, we want to push it in till we get it close to the other side. And I see there's a slight warp right there. So there we go. Now let's see how it fits. Now even though it fits better, it could still even be a little bit smaller yet, because I would like it to be just surrounding it. On the other hand, we don't want it to be so tight that it's banging into the side. So this might be the best spot for it. I'm going to round it out a little more if I can here. And we'll make up the second loop. So the first thing we want to do is turn our two loops and then cut one off. Now you could ask me, why are we turning the loop before we cut it off? Well, that's actually kind of simple, because I know exactly how much I cut off when I cut off a loop. If I just went and just cut whatever I felt like cutting, then I may not be cutting off the proper amount. So I notched that. So cut just the tippy tip off of that, and then turn it again. And of course, once we get it turned, we're going to resize it. There we go. I actually sort of dislike this bottom one because, let's face it, it doesn't want to give you a lot of room to work here with the lip of for where the handle goes on. Now let's see if it's the same size, and it looks pretty good. So the next step is to cut the pearls loose and wire wrap them around the outer edge, like so. You know, since we are going to wire wrap the pearls around the outer edge, I'm thinking I am going to cut off one more loop and make this a little smaller. So we will just get up in here, cut off one loop, go over to this side, cut off one loop, roll it again, roll this one, now to guess, I'd say I probably cut off maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, because each of these are at least 1/4 inch. So now let's put it back on the wire mandrel, and we're not going to go to the bottom because, well, don't need to because it's much smaller now. So yeah, I think I'm going to like that better. See how much smaller that is? So now if you don't have a wire mandrel, these are actually from Beadalon, and they're not very expensive. I think I paid maybe $7 or $8 for them. You can find anything that's the same general shape that you want to bend it to bend your wire into place. Okay, this one needs to come up some more, of course. Oops. Let's see here, we did there. Okie dokie, that's looking good. So the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to get my block out and give these two rings a bit of a tap to harden them somewhat. So if you want to, you can turn your sound down a little bit. Don't need too much. You just want to give it just a bit. Okie dokie. So now that that's done, our next step is to get out some 26 gauge wire and start wrapping these little pearls. So we'll need quite a bit. Weirdly enough, it takes a lot of wire to wrap these little guys up. So we want at least a foot, maybe 2. I'm going to go 2. I'd rather have, or close to 2. That should do it. Knock the earring over. So put that back over here. Cut open our pearls. I don't need these heavy pliers cutters anymore. I use 2 different kinds of cutters. One is for heavier wire and one is for thinner wire. So let's knock some of these little pearls off here. Throw away these cut off loops. So we're going to take our wire, our 26 gauge, and we're going to go and we're going to open this one loop on this side just a bit, because what we're going to do is we're going to put a couple of wraps inside the loop. That's going to hold them steady in that place. Now when you've got that back in place, then just move your loop back into place here. And we're going to want to hold this wire while we come around with this. So just push it through, and we'll want to do, I like to do 2, and I'll put the bead right here on top of this one. Like so. And then as I come around, we'll hold that bead right in place between your thumb and forefinger and hold it up there on the bar so that it gets set in place there. And we're going to just do that all the way around until we get to the other side. So put that up on top of the bar, hold it with your thumb and forefinger, push your wire through, get it tight, come around again, over the bar and back up, and there we go. Now I try to keep my little bars or wires relatively close to each other. So in we go with our bead. Hold it with our thumb and forefinger. Wrap our wire tightly, come around and up again. See how that's going to look with this inside the middle of it like that? Is that going to be pretty? So anyway, we're just going to keep doing that all the way around till we get to the other side. Oops. Now that's one thing you got to watch for, is this small thin wire will kink on you, so do be careful. Okay, so we've got the bead up. Hold it between our thumb and forefinger and wrap. Tight, go back through, come up, and we're ready for our next bead. Got 2. These little pearls are like almost like threading a needle putting them on. Okay. It's looking cute. Now if you want these closer together, you can push them closer together. Or if you want them further apart, you can spread them some. Now see, I let that one go before it got tightened. So that's what happens when you do that. So you got to get it back up there and hold it. Pull it into place. There we go. Oops, we're kinking. Now I'm going to have to fix that kink. So in order to fix that, you're going to try and back it out. We're almost done, so no more kinking, okay, little one? So, hold it, over, tighten, over again. Now I'm almost to the top, and you see I have quite a bit of wire left over, so I didn't need quite as much as I cut originally. So I would much rather have way too much and have to put it in my scrap pile than to have not enough and have to try and add some wire in. Okay, let's see where we're at. I'm not sure I can get another purl on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we're pretty good right there. So if you wanted to, you can. Now what we're going to do is again open our end piece off here. Get this piece out of the way so it doesn't get into the way here. And then we're going to go up and in the ring a couple of times. Maybe 3, just to be on the safe side. Okay. And shut her back down. Now we want to get our wires all evened out here and clip the excess off and then tuck them in. So here's our big one here. We'll take it off right here. It's not quite enough wire to do the other earring, I don't think, but it is enough to keep her doing something else. So now we'll tuck these wires in, our end wires. So now we have this one all wrapped. And if you want, if it doesn't feel even to you, you can pull and push until you get them more where you want it. But see, now this is going to surround that like so. Now we need to do our other side. and then we can put them all together. So since the other side is exactly the same as the first one, I'm going to do it off camera and we'll be back in just a bit. Okay, now that I've got the little pearls around both bars, what we need to do is put these guys together. And this is really easy, actually. You just need your 2 pair of pliers and some jump rings. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to jump ring the little loops on either side. Now I'm using a medium-sized oval jump ring for this, but the next step is to put in our dangle here. And the question is it going to dangle deep enough with just one of these little guys? I'm not sure. So instead, I'm going to get a large jump ring. I'd prefer not to use these if I could help it, because they do have a much bigger signature on your piece, but sometimes it's a necessity. And I think this case may be one of those times, because I want it to dangle down a bit, but I don't want to have to use a series of jump rings to hang it. So there's that one. So now that we've got these rings all on, we need to take a 4th one, open it up. Now this one you might want to use a big one for also, because you're going to be taking all of these little rings into here. Now the other side, and you need to be careful when you get this one or it will twist on you as it comes up. Now, even with the big one, that looks like it might end up being too high up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the big one back off, and we are going to use a series of little ones. Now, you can't put in just 2. You need at least 3, otherwise your charm will be hanging in the wrong direction. And since 1 is not enough, 2 would bring it the wrong way, we need 3. There's 1. But that one's not closed. We've got to make sure our jump rings are closed. Okay. Now, with 2, you can grab your 3rd one so you don't have to open it up. We close this one back up. Making sure they're all closed again. Now this will dangle a little further down when you put it together. So we'll use the big one now to put everything together here instead of one of the little ones. So here we go here. Get our dangle on. Get over here and get the other wire. The other jump ring, but making sure that it's falling the right way. Come on, baby. See, I just let it twist. Now, if it twists, everything's going to be twisted. And we'll put our ear wire on here. and close her up. Now let's make sure everything looks like it's sitting properly and closed. This one is not closed properly. I can see it's open a hair's breadth right there. That's better. And there is earring number 1. See, now 3 was almost too long. So if you had a smaller jump ring, you could put a smaller jump ring in here. And I do have a smaller one, and I may switch it out just to give that extra, bring it up that extra little bit. But I don't mind it. I think we'll leave it that way. So let's put the other one together. Exactly the same way. I think we're going to need one more jump ring, however. We'll do the 3 on this baby. There's our 3 here. Put this one on one of the arms of our loop. Oop. Throw it off. Now I need to get that one more jump ring. So we'll do that. Get it on the other arm. And then we have our big jump ring to put them all together. Open it up. Get the first one, the charm, and then the second. Make sure you've got it all right. Put your ear wire in, close her up. And there's earring number 2. Aren't those cute? Hope you enjoyed making those with me. All right, and there are our earrings using our Softflex Design Kit Pink Warrior Support Squad. Hope you enjoyed making those with me. Cute, they're pretty, and I like them. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.